Good morning, everyone. Today we're checking out a brand new video from PopCross Studios about how clown trouncing is harder than you thought. Welcome to Trismegistus Academy, episode 22. Let's hop in and see how this group of mavericks finally fight into Ludum. I almost forgot her name. That was close.
Previously on the Trismegistus Academy.
Oh, that's right. Thanks to the thumbnail, we're actually finally going to get to see what she looks like after losing her damn arm.
The Maverick class and the LAFF students trapped in Ludum's arena have managed to work together to defeat Ludum's greatest monster, the draconic Ludulcanus. There are still more of Ludum's monstrous laughing Ludals running around the arena, but the only real threat left is Eloise Ludum herself. The three Archon demons still seem set on sitting back and watching, but Psycho Paradelict was quite irritated by being distracted enough by the battle for Jake and Niseko to find a way to get one of their newest allies off-screen, where he can do, well, hopefully something incredibly helpful. Regardless of what help he brings, it's the students versus the cruel headmistress now. The Sharp Gang is fighting their own battle above the barrier, trapping the students in the arena, so as long as that barrier is there, the students are on their own. Let's see if they can handle facing Eloise Ludum themselves in the second-last chapter of the Trismegistus Academy.
Ooh, second-to-last chapter.
We need to smash her stones, Jake said to the group of battle-worn students. Let's hit hard right away. Waru, can you give Amelia a full power-up? Then Anna, can you get on her back and phase her again so we can get... While Jake spoke, Ludum, floating in the air surrounded by 13 stones of what was once her control platform, thrust her hand towards one of the rocks. It glowed, and from the ground of the arena, a stray laughing Ludul let out a final cackle as it dissolved into dust, was pulled up to Ludum's stone, and suddenly made all of them glow a sickly green light. She thrust a hand forth, and from one of the stones fired a barrage of green glowing daggers.
So even though her control platform is destroyed, she can still use the fragments of it.
Zenith soared in front of the group, then threw up his hands and made a golden shield to block the blast. But the second they started hitting, he yelled, "Move! I can't hold this!" The students scattered just before the daggers broke through the shield. Zenith tried to fly out of the way, but Ludum followed him with the beam of soaring blades. A shame that you once escaped my arena just to come back and die here anyway, Angel Boy. It seems you killed Waru's poor mother for nothing.
Hey, you
Zenith
caused
felt
that.
Burning gashes slashed across his legs, then back. He shifted his wings into rockets and fired far faster around the arena. Still, Ludum shifted her aim quickly and was likely to hit him again.
She's in a different outfit.
That is, until she diverted her attention to the hulking, fishy monstrosity soaring through the air towards her, powered up by Waru. She stopped firing at Zenith, activated one of her stones again, and another Ludul dissolved and soared to her. A ring of green
She's using the Ludums as fuel. Okay.
electricity burst around her.
Wait, but there's only so many that she made and are out in the arena. Eventually, she's gonna run dry.
Just as Amelia, with Anna on her back, got close enough to strike. Unfazed little fishies, I dare you, Ludum growled. Anna suddenly leapt backwards off Amelia, clearly trusting that Waru's upgrade and Amelia's own power would be enough to get through. The second Amelia hit the green lightning, her entire body tensed, but she still had enough momentum to soar into Ludum and tackle her. Ludum recovered unfortunately quickly, and Amelia fell away from her towards the ground, still sparking with green light. Jake flew up and caught Anna, and they headed straight down to where Amelia had landed. Ludum seemed ready to strike at them again, but thankfully she'd taken her eyes off Zenith. Only a single green dagger shot out of Ludum's stone before two of Zenith's own glowing blades stabbed into the rock. He yanked them out and slashed at it again with one, and at Ludum with the other. Her dagger-spewing stone was clearly taking damage, but the blade that came for her moved too slowly in the green electric field, and she was able to evade it. Though because of her battle with Zenith, she didn't notice the black smoke swirling around her ankle.
Jake was right, the stones need to be destroyed.
Seeping into her skin. You want more for yourself? Fine by me, Ludum yelled as she turned the dagger-spewing stone towards Zenith. But before she could fire, a mighty swing of a kanabo soared into the stone, smashing chunks of it off. You've got less honor than anyone I've met, Eloise. You having a school and thinking you can teach anything to anyone is a disgrace. Shinobu Kohaku snarled as she was carried by Insecto. Kohaku swung again and burst the stone to pieces. It fell away from Ludum towards the ground, all light fading from it. Kohaku then took a breath, flames building in her mouth. but before she could fire, Ludum activated another stone, and the green electricity burst out farther, striking Niseko and Kohaku, making them fall from the sky.
Oh, that
Darwin
has to
soared
hurt.
under them on his Thalassodromius and caught them, flying away from Ludum. She thrust her tassel-formed arm towards them, and it unraveled, stretching out after them, only to have a star blade carve through it in the air, and slice away a chunk of the coming fabric. Tale teleported to her weapon in midair, turned and hurled it right back through the tassels again, carving far more of them away. Ludum redirected her bands towards Tale's starblade, but she just kept getting to it first, tossing it elsewhere, until she saw Ludum's electric field dwindling. Tale hurled her weapon right towards Eloise. Another Luddle burst into dust on the arena floor and shot towards Eloise, but didn't reach her before the blade sliced through Ludum's side, and Tale teleported to it, snatching onto one of Ludum's floating stones. Perhaps I could carve your head off now, but chipping away at you till you realize you're finished will be more fun.
No,
Tale
end
hurled
it.
her blade at
Go
the
for the
ground,
head.
still holding the stone, and teleported to her weapon, bringing
Do what should have been done to Thanos. Go for the head.
a chunk of Ludum's rock with her. Ludum threw her hand down as if to call the stone back. But before she could, Tale landed next to Anna, who grabbed the stone, phased it, and shoved it into the ground, trapping it beneath the earth. Eloise absorbed her next Luddle, and floating orbs of green light appeared around her. But Tale was now distracted by the figure, coming into form from black and purple smoke behind Ludum. So, this is what you've made of my precious homeworld, peasant. I can see why you assured I could never return here to see how vile a job you've done overseeing it.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, that woman that just entered the arena is the biggest, literally the biggest threat to the multiverse. Even bigger than the Archons, because she ate an Archon. Almost quite literally consumed the Archon, like body, spirit, gone.
A look of genuine terror struck Ludum's face as she turned to see the muscle-bound figure of Tarsa hovering behind her.
Tarsa has returned. I mean, technically she had returned a while ago, but still.
Oh, please, you think this can fool me? Oliver, do you think I'm a complete nitwit? From the ground, Oliver...
Oh, that's right. I've completely forgot about his power to make people's nightmares reality. Oh, thank goodness it's not actually Tulsa. Because if Tulsa was here, that's it. Fight's over. Everyone dying. Even the Archons.
Amos shrugged. Nah, I figured you'd know it was me making her pretty quick, but kind of funny to know your greatest fear is some random muscle mommy. His demon, Nightmare, now...
Deimos, you have no idea who the hell that quote-unquote muscle mommy is.
Formed into Tarsa, shot towards Ludum with a burly hand stretched forth, ready to clutch her neck. Ludum thrust her hand at one of her stones, and she instantly teleported across the arena. From there, she sent a dozen of the floating orbs around her, spinning through the air towards Tarsa. Nightmare may not have been as powerful as the real thing, but he was able to punch most of the orbs out of his path as he soared towards Ludum. He thrust his palm forward, building up red energy within it, and fired a beam right at Ludum. Just before it hit, she activated her teleportation rune again, and in a blink was on the opposite end of the arena. But that put her much closer to Zenith once more. Jake was still on the ground next to Amelia, trying to heal her from the green shock Ludum had hit her with. Waru had called his orbs out of Amelia, and he hurled them up to Zenith without a word to alert Ludum. Zenith's hair burst into a spiky golden glow. His whole body became coated in glowing armor, and 30 glimmering swords appeared around him.
I honestly love how when anyone gets the Waru power-up, they immediately just go Super Saiyan, or even Super Saiyan 2.
Thrust all of them towards Ludum from behind her. The first carved a huge gash into her back, but that was all the alert she needed to prepare for the others. Her orbs all vanished and a shield emerged around her. The swords all slashed, and Zenith was rapidly getting winded from using the upgrades, but he kept carving away with his cascade of blades, seeing Ludum's shield being chipped away.
Just do what you can and back off.
All of them back at once, forming them all into a single blade 5 times the size of his body. This one's for Clarissa! Zenith yelled as he hurled the blade forward. It smashed through Ludum's shield, and she tried to dodge aside, but it still carved through her thigh, slicing a hole big enough to make Ludum shriek in pain. Before she could recover from that, she was tackled from behind by the fake Tarsa and careened towards the ground, with her stones around her. As she tumbled,
Yes,
she yelled,
come on, guys.
"Enough! This farce you're all claiming is a trouncing ends now!" From across the arena, every single laughing Little burst into dust and soared towards Ludum. She was
Crap.
tackled right into the ground, but the dust of the impact was added to by the dust of the Littles, clouding everyone's view of her. Before anyone could move in, an explosion of green and purple energy erupted off her and
Full
rolled across
charge.
the arena. Nightmare's form as Tarsa burst into smoke. Zenith was the closest besides Nightmare, and even with Waru's upgrade, the impact was enough to send him hurtling out of the air. Waru wasn't as close, but with no power protecting him, he was sent hurtling backwards, and his back smashed into a stone.
Oh,
he dropped to the ground
that's gonna hurt.
and was out cold. His orbs immediately flew out of Zenith and came back to float around their unconscious host. Everyone was hit by the eruption, and it wasn't pleasant for anyone. Even Jake had been knocked away from Amelia, who was taking far too long to heal. That green lightning had done a number on her, and both Insecto and
How
Kohaku
strong
were
is it?
healing from it too. Now Waru was down, and he was one of their biggest assets. Jake was desperate for Offscreen to show up, but he knew he couldn't wait around for him. The Mavericks were getting picked off, and they needed to get back up faster. He flew over to Amelia, still
need to
lying
get back
on the
up.
ground, and said, "I'll be back, I promise, but I think it's my turn to get a full-blown upgrade." He shot through the
Here
air
we
towards
go.
where Waru had fallen, ready to heal him. Eloise was standing on the ground, clutching her wounded leg, as she saw Jake fly by. "No, no, no. If that traitorous reincarnate is down for the count, he's staying that way."
Oh, sorry about that.
She tossed a hand up to activate one of her stones, but before she could, a speedy fist zipped across the ground and smashed her in the jaw. She was nearly hurled off her feet, and before she could even think about what to do, it
Finally.
came back and struck her again in the exact same spot. This time she did fall to one knee. Ludum threw her
You
hand
know
up
who
at one
has
of her
super
stones, and a
speed?
concussive pulse burst around her. Unfortunately for her, Alcaya was able to drop mid-run, skid under the pulse, and keep going to reach Ludum and smash her fist right into her nose,
Hell
knocking
yeah,
her onto
Alcaya.
her back. Alcaya stood over Ludum and rapid-fire punched her over and over and over again in the face, slamming her head into the ground with each strike. She'd wanted to do this for a long time.
Alcaya, you need to go full flash and do what's his ultimate move called? The Infinite Punch or something?
Eloise's face
No, Infinite Mass Punch. That's it, isn't it?
was getting mashed. Unfortunately, Alcaya was so focused on getting as many hits as possible that she didn't see Ludum's hand fling up to activate one of her stones. Thankfully, just as a swell of green smoke, like the little Caunus spewed, came spurting out towards Alcaya, a chain wrapped around her waist, and she was yanked backwards. She rolled across the ground and sprang up next to Khalida Jackal, who wasn't
Thanks,
even
Khalida.
focused on Alcaya, and instead was looking at Oliver, who was sauntering towards her, with Nightmare slowly reforming onto his body. Khalida growled, "Don't think I'll quickly forgive you for making a cheap imitation of the Archonic Goddess." "I don't even know who that lady was, Mutt. Take it up with my demon." As they
take it up
bickered,
with
they
the
didn't
Nightmare.
notice Ludum hurling a wave of the foul smoke towards them. But Alcaya,
Okay, hold on. I know with all the other ones, it's always been like the hell has just gone spiky, but why is Jake actually getting the Super Saiyan treatment? It's like his hair was already orange, the kind of blondish, and his is now becoming like nuclear green. I mean, I'm not hating that, but he literally got the Super Saiyan treatment.
did. She couldn't carry both of them, but figured she owed Khalida, so she grabbed the Jackal Girl and ran them both away, as Oliver was overwhelmed in the smoke. He fell to the ground, twitching and choking. Thankfully, Kiko held her breath, leapt in and grabbed him, then bounded them both out of the cloud. Unfortunately, even with her breath held, some of the smoke still got to her. She and Oliver both dropped to the ground only a
Crap.
short way out of danger. "How many is that down, You irksome little
Technically
whelp
only
really
3.
believe you have a chance against me? Taking my stones away does nothing. They are nothing more than shortcuts." She tapped the glowing runes on her still human arm, and more of the green lightning burst around her body, adding to the swell of smoke around her. "You have achieved nothing, and I will
Okay, that's a clever tactic, but I hate you for thinking of it.
continue to strike you down one by
Eloise.
one till there is nothing left of you but forgettable corpses littering the crowded field of foes who thought they could fell Eloise. Look!" A boulder smashed into
Ooh.
Ludum and sent her pinwheeling across the ground. She managed to stop, hovering in midair, but her face was even more mangled and bloody than Alcaya had already made it. She looked
Who did that?
furiously in the direction the rock had come from and saw Amelia on her feet again, along with Kohaku, Insecto, and Waru. Green light illuminated them all as Jake floated behind them, his hair
Hell
burst
yeah.
up into a green plume and Waru's 3 orbs illuminating in his gem. Knock us down all you want, Ludum. It's not gonna do you much good. We Mavericks always get back up.
Jake, you have officially entered Mega Healer mode. As in, you can heal anyone from any distance and as many people as possible. Hell yes!
Before Ludum could respond, another voice echoed across the arena.
Dang, you guys are smoking her even without my help. Her face is looking like a half-melted chocolate bar.
Everyone turned to see, off-screen, standing back across the arena.
I wasn't completely sure if it was off-screen or Benny, because apparently they actually have, like, very similar voices. Of course, off-screen is, you know, higher pitch, just kid.
Holding the Chimera Capital Pocket Dimension disc in his hand. It was shaking and sparking violently.
By the way, I think I might have broke this thing. Is it supposed to do this?
Suddenly, in a swirl of light billowing off the disc, a massive chimera that Waru would describe as a blend of Charizard, Feraligatr, and Nidoking came into form, shrieking and leering at Ludum. Before it was even fully formed, 3 more swells of light burst off, making 3 more chimeras. More and more just kept coming like there was an endless supply coming into form. Half of them soared right towards Ludum, with rage in their eyes. But the others charged and flew towards the Archons. Psycho crossed all 4 of his arms.
You know how much I love to say I told you so? Well...
Yes! Yes! This clown trouncing is heaven!
Is you seriously stopping us here for an ad break? I know you want to market the books and your colouring books and all that, but we just want to know what's happening in the story. Look, PopCross has got 3 colouring books and 3 novels out. Some of the novels have bonus art that's never been seen on the channel, like Myth or Lethal, and Fear of the Demon Hunters even has a whole extra chapter. Links are in the description. Now just get back to it.
Swells of fire, water, electricity, and more flew towards the Archons as the beasts approached and gnashed their teeth. It wasn't overwhelming for the Archons, but they couldn't just keep watching the show now, and the beasts careening towards Ludum were much more than she could handle. She shot smoke, lightning blades, beams, knocking some from the sky, blasting through the wings of others, but more and more just kept appearing and flying at her. She hovered up into the air, backing...
You know, off-screen, I know your whole gimmick is that you do stuff off-screen and it's perfect, but I am curious, what did you actually do while inside that pocket dimension?
Way more and more, only to shriek as she felt something chomp into her leg.
You vaporized all the food, so you are the food now.
Asphage snarled as he tore a chunk of flesh from her leg with his teeth.
I'm gonna call you Phage. You cool with that, Phage? Of course you're cool with that, Phage. Good work, Phage.
She cried out in pain, but zapped him with green lightning, making him fall to the ground. The second he hit, though, Jake zipped over, pressed his hands to the fallen LAFF student, and within seconds he was back on his feet. Waru's full upgrade was making Jake's healing powers essentially instant. Ludum looked at Jake in fury as he said,
"Your students are part of our team now. As far as I care, they're Mavericks now too, and I'll always be here to make sure they get back up."
She thrust her tassels towards him, just to have them chomped out of the air by a chimera that dragged Ludum down to the ground again, as more and more of them started piling onto her. Meanwhile, the Archons weren't taking any dangerous damage, but they were still having to fight.
Alright, this party's over. Ludum, you're on your own. If you somehow manage to pull out a win, I guess we'll stay out of your dimension. And you,
he said, looking through the crowd of chimeras to off-screen, who was still holding the disc, watching more and more appear.
Don't think I'm gonna let you keep breaking reality for long, bucko.
Oh,
What's that? I couldn't hear you over the sound of all the broken reality spilling out of this thing.
Psycho snarled, batting away a chimera's head with 2 of his hands as he turned to Romillisect, who was clearly ready to go too. He then looked for Kaijurex, who was nowhere to be seen.
Hey, where's the big guy?
He's gone already. Said he needed to grab something, went to get it, then I guess poured it out of here.
Romillisect said as she soared around.
Oh, that's so cowardice. He's like, hey, I gotta go grab something from my car. Oh, it's like, yeah, wait, we don't have cars. Kaiju, you coward!
The chimera and stung it in the back with a stinger that popped out of her lower abdomen. The creature immediately turned and stared at her, purring, before another chimera spat a beam of flames at her. The one she'd stung furiously soared towards the one attacking her and started violently tearing it apart with its teeth.
Ooh.
Rex left a fight before I did? That's not like him. Whatever, let's vamoose.
Yeah, he cowed
Sure,
for
just
some
let me
reason.
make things a little bit more fun before we do.
She snapped her fingers, and the barrier above the arena, the one separating the Mavericks from the Sharp Gang, having their own war above, vanished. The
Oh,
second it did,
boy.
Alexis and Tayrin, astride the unkillable dragon snack Basmore, soared towards the Archons at blinding speed.
Not today, Reaper, but someday soon, I'm sure.
Psycho chuckled as he and Romilisect vanished.
Psycho!
Alexis stopped, but Snag Basmore furiously flew right into the wall behind where the Archons had been and smashed through it.
You promised me an Archon summoner.
Hey, don't blame me for them being chicken shit. Now let's go get Ludum.
Tayrin wins.
You can have a skull.
I don't imagine I'll be hearing the end of that anytime soon. Meanwhile, Ludum saw the barrier down through the swarm of chimeras attacking her. She was bloodied and woozy and now had the Reaper, Evangeline Trismegistus, and the entire Sharp Gang to contend with. Even she knew she was outmatched. Jake had been waiting for another ally to heal, but he was the closest one to Ludum as he saw her teleportation ability activating. He glanced at the green gem in his hand, enhanced by Waru's power. He'd had the upgrade for so long his heart wasn't just beating, it was buzzing. Still,
Ooh.
he couldn't let Ludum escape.
That must feel
he shot to
real.
her like lightning just as she was teleporting. He snatched his hands around her throat and teleported with her.
Oh.
They both appeared nearly a mile above the battle still raging below, but Jake didn't care where they were. He just kept squeezing with all the strength of his upgraded power.
Do it,
Ludum
Jake.
gagged, staring furiously at him. She activated her stones and a burst of smoke shot onto Jake. He started coughing and choking, but his gem just glowed and green light burst up from it to his throat, healing him as fast as he was being hurt.
Yes.
Ludum's face was turning
Yes.
purple, but she lashed the tassels off her arm, slicing against Jake's flesh like blades, carving him open. Every slash was agonizing, but they all healed within seconds as he kept choking her. Suddenly, Jake noticed a colossal swirl of smoke spiraling up towards them, blacking out the battle beneath.
Ooh.
Jake noticed one of Ludum's stones was activated. She'd just eviscerated every Ludum fighting the Sharp Gang below, and they were all swirling up towards her to power her up even more.
Oh,
He needed
no.
to do this fast.
Yes, you
Jake
have to stop it
squeezed
somehow.
harder and harder, desperate for her to pass out. Some of the Ludum mist reached her, and she activated her electricity and summoned blades to slash across Jake's body. Every strike hurt, but every one healed. He felt like he was so close he could do this.
Do it, Jake.
And he heard and felt a sharp crack. He looked at his gem in terror. It was breaking.
Oh,
It couldn't
wait.
handle Waru's upgrade much longer. Ludum saw fear strike Jake's
Oh,
face.
no.
What's the matter, Maverick? Little sparkly rock not going to hold out?
He just squeezed tighter. Even if it's the last thing I do with this gem, I'm taking you down, Ludum. My team is counting on me. They trust me, and I won't let them down.
This
She
is
glanced
big.
at his gem.
Your team, Are you their adorable little leader? Because one of your little runts owes me an arm. If you're their leader, perhaps I should just collect it from you.
A spurt of blood burst onto Jake's face. His heart went from racing impossibly fast to barely beating at all. He couldn't even
God.
process the pain in his arm, or where his arm had been. Ludum had struck his arm right from his body. The hand his crystal was embedded in was no longer attached to him.
Oh, no.
He felt
Oh,
all the
crap.
power instantly slipping away from his body. He could try to grab his gem, but he still had one hand clutched around Ludum's neck, and her eyes were fluttering back. He screamed in pain and fury and gave one last squeeze of her neck as hard as he could, as his crystal and severed arm fell away into the smoke.
Oh, God.
Then he and Ludum fell from each other, and both started to spiral into the mist themselves, tumbling towards the ground below.
God.
Jake couldn't see anything through the smoke. He couldn't fly anymore without his gem. He tried screaming for help, but little more than pained whimpers emerged.
Sterling, Alexis, Anna, someone.
He could barely breathe as the wind and smoke rushed past him. He couldn't feel a connection to his gem. He felt like his arm was still there, but the
Man, I really hope him confessing his feelings and getting his girlfriend and it was not, major death flag saying Jake dies. Because if Jake dies, I'm rioting. Even though, yes, I do already have the final episode lined up and ready to record.
Empty space and trail of blood spilling off him proved otherwise.
Sterling, please!
He had no idea how far he'd fallen. He heard voices calling through the smoke. He tried desperately to respond, but he fell so fast they zipped by and vanished. There was nothing Jake could do but fall. Finally, he burst through the bottom of the cloud of mist and was already below where the barrier had once been. He saw the Mavericks on the ground, he saw Anna, and everything started to move in slow motion. Alsaya grabbed Anna and started sprinting right towards where Jake was falling. As Jake spun through the air, he saw Sterling soaring down after him from above in a flaming streak. He saw Alexis flying in a blur of purple smoke, ripping a chimera in half to try and get to him. They were all coming to save him. But none of them were fast enough.
No!
Alsaya skidded to a stop, and Anna shrieked in terror. Sterling slammed into the ground right next to where Jake's body had hit, his knees splashing into the fallen Maverick's blood. Alexis stopped in midair, staring at the scene, but desperate to believe it wasn't so. A choking voice then called through the chaos.
Oh no.
Get back up from that, Maverick!
Okay, you know what? Screw my normal recording session. I'm immediately recording and reacting to the sequel, the next episode of this, immediately after this is over. I'm not waiting until the end. I'm doing it right after. Oh, this is big. This is so damn big. Holy God. Badass kaiju, by the way.
Alright, I know that's kind of a mean cliffhanger to leave people on, but keep in mind you'll only have to wait until Friday to see the actual finale. By the way, if you want something else to watch, Starseed Psyche wrapped up last week, so if you hadn't checked out that series, you can watch the entire thing without having to wait for new episodes now. But besides that, that's all for today, except of course for ending this video on some kind of positive or inspiring note.
What you
got? The thought I want to leave people with today is a nice and simple one. A reminder for anyone that's working towards some big goal and is going through a period of struggling or it's taking longer than you want it to, remember that if your dream was easy to achieve, it wouldn't be nearly as inspiring to other people once they see you achieve it.
That is pretty good.
The struggles that you go through and drive yourself forward and get through will be things that you can then use to inspire other people to get through their own struggles.
That is very good.
Inspiring reminder. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the finale on Friday.
And like I said before, I'll see all of you in a cut. Right, I guess I should do my regular outro, you know. Like, comment, subscribe, link below, yada yada yada. I'll see you.